these gospel tract holders that we've made has kind of been the root of PhilAmerica, which is philamerica.org. If you want to look that up on the website, philamerica.org. But a contest among churches, just a challenge where we're trying to challenge each other, churches, states, evangelists, to carry and pass out gospel tracts. And so at our church, I had a man in my church says, Pastor Chatfield, you haven't preached on anything but gospel tracts for 6 months. I said, well, that might be a slight exaggeration, but only slight, because we're really on this. And there's some people in our church, a lady in my church named Deb Laurie said to herself, this is something I can do. Yeah, I can do this. So the last PhilAmerica campaign, she went to different parking lots, Walmarts, Meijer, across northern Michigan, and she passed out 900 gospel tracts because she told me, this is something that I can do. I can do this.
My name is Deb Laurie. I go to Northern Michigan Baptist Bible Church in Burt Lake, Michigan. In the latest PhilAmerica campaign, I handed out 900 tracts. Since I've been in this church, this is what we do. And so I have been, every time there's some sort of tract contest or push, I do this. But I've been working up numbers, and I always try to beat those numbers. So actually, at first, John and I were trying to be pastor. But it's something that I know that I'm supposed to do. And so I can just tell that the Lord is in it. I can tell that the areas, I can tell, you can just tell. And if you're struggling, you ask the Lord, for help. Please help me to do this. And He does. He gives you the strength to do it. Because sometimes after you're rejected, sometimes it's not pleasant. So what I do is go into shopping malls, or not malls, but in the parking lot. I go up to people that are coming out of the stores with their shopping carts. I go up to them and ask them if I can't put their cart away for them when they're done. If there's a need, you know what I mean, I do it. One time a man needed a shopping cart because he wasn't walking very well. I said, can I go get your shopping cart? But when I do this, I'm also asking them if I can hand them a tract. And they tell me yes. So, it's a blessing. If there's a need, you just help the people, because that's what we're supposed to do. Just pray. Pastor always says to ask the Lord for help. That encourages you, that it helps you. Because there's a lot of times it's hard. It's sometimes to approach people. But then you're handing out the gospel. You're giving them the love of Christ. You're giving them a gift. And you just do it. You just, you make time to do it. It's time consuming. I set days apart just to do those tracts and hand them out. And every day I would plan 50 tracts. Sometimes it would be 100 tracts that day, if I could get it out, if there's people. I always went where there's people. You approach them, you always ask them if you can give them a tract. I never cram it down their throat. And they would always say yes. There's been some that would say, no, I'm good, or I don't need it. That's just what you do.
Listen, everybody can pass out gospel tracts if you want to, and it is effective. It is effective. Now, we don't see the converts right there on the spot, but if the Word of God is true, and it is, we know that His Word does not return void, and this is a step of obedience. And I keep maintaining that if we're not walking in obedience, and then we're praying for some great awakening, it isn't going to happen. In other words, well, we want God to save souls, but we're not willing to even pass out a gospel tract. I think God questions your prayer. If that's your practice, Christian, carry gospel tracts, pass them out as God gives you opportunity.